Hello students, once again welcome to Akshar online classes, and we are doing 8th class metals and non-metals chapter. In that we are doing the properties of metals, and in the previous class we already discussed two properties of the metals. Now today we are going to discuss about the third property. Okay, so what is the third property? The third property is metal react with the solutions of other metal, right? So students, see here metal react with other metal solution. Okay, now see here, I'll explain you. Here let us take one beaker. This is a beaker. In this beaker, I am taking the copper sulfate solution. What I am taking? Copper sulfate solution. And student, copper sulfate solution color is blue in color. What is the color of copper sulfate? Blue in color. So this is a copper sulfate solution I am taking. This is copper sulfate solution. Which color? Blue color solution. Now in this what I do, I will take one iron rod or iron nail and I dip this. Okay, let us take iron nail. So this dipping the iron nail here inside this copper sulfate solution. Okay, what is this? This is iron rod or iron nail, right? Now wait for some time and then see what happens. So we observe that after some time, slowly the blue color of the copper sulfate fades out and the solution changes into green color. Solution changes into green color. Why? Because here what's happening when we are adding, when you are the dipping the iron in copper sulfate solution, then this iron is displacing the copper. Displacing means what? It is taking out the copper from the copper sulfate solution and occupying its place. So copper is going away and iron is coming here. So now what happens? This copper sulfate solution becomes iron sulfate. What it becomes? Iron sulfate, and copper is going out. So students, here due to the formation of iron sulfate, now this solution turns into green in color. Okay, this solution turns into green in color. Why? Because here iron sulfate is forming. Is this clear, students, to you? Any doubt? And this reaction is also called as a displacement reaction. What it is called? Displacement reaction. So what is the displacement reaction? In one element displaces other element from its compound and occupies its place to form a new compound is called a displacement reaction. Okay, now see here now. So students, here you see now metals, what happens? The color of copper sulfate solution is blue. Just now I told you, students, the color of copper sulfate solution is blue. When iron nail or iron blade is kept immersed in copper sulfate solution, so see here we are taking the iron nail, this is iron nail, we are putting in the blue color copper sulfate solution. The blue color of copper sulfate fades away and is replaced by the light green color. See students, here it is a blue color. Now what happened here? It turns into light green color, right? This is an example of displacement reaction. Is this clear? Displacement reaction. Okay, so this is the reaction. Iron reacting with copper sulfate to form the iron sulfate and copper. Okay, students. Now listen carefully. Now I am going to explain you the very important topic to you. So here I have taken the iron, so that is Fe, and I kept in the copper sulfate solution. So I am getting ferrous sulfate, that is iron sulfate, and copper. This reaction we have seen. Imagine, students, for example, I am taking iron sulfate solution. Okay, I am taking iron sulfate solution. So this is iron sulfate FeSO4, which is green in color. Okay, so green color iron sulfate solution. Now in this I am adding now copper. Okay, now I am taking the copper rod and putting in this copper rod, right? So like reversible reaction. So iron, in the previously what I said, iron we kept in the copper sulfate, so we are getting iron sulfate and copper. Now what I am doing, I am taking the copper, I am putting the in ferrous sulfate solution. Now what are the products formed? Think. Okay, so here students, no reaction takes place. Here no reaction takes place, nothing is formed. Okay, now the question arises, why? Here if the iron is displacing the copper, why copper cannot displace the iron? Students, here iron is more reactive than the copper. Iron is more reactive than the copper. So more reactive metals displaces less reactive metals, but less reactive metals do not displace more reactive metals. Is this clear? See students, here metals, generally three types of metals are there. Metals, generally three types of metals are there. So what are they? Metals of high reactivity, metals of medium reactivity, metals of low reactivity. The high reactivity metals examples are what? Potassium, sodium, calcium. These are high reactive metals. And medium reactivity, magnesium, aluminum, zinc, iron, lead. And these are the low reactivity, copper, mercury, silver, gold. So these metals can displace these metals from their compounds, but these metals cannot displace these metals. Is this clear to you? So higher reactive metals displaces lower reactive metals, but lower reactive metals cannot displaces higher reactive metals, right? Now here you see, here if you arrange the metals in the decreasing order of their reactivity, so at the topmost we can get the potassium. Potassium is more reactive than the sodium. Sodium is more reactive than the calcium. Calcium is more reactive than the magnesium, and so on. So from this, as we move from left to right, so left to left elements can displace as the right side elements, but right side elements cannot displace as the left side element. The meaning is what? For example, potassium displaces magnesium, for example, but magnesium cannot displace the potassium. Is this clear to you? Okay. Now students, there is a question for you. Write the products in the following reactions. What are the products formed? So students, here copper sulfate, if it is reacting with the zinc, what happens? Is the reaction, what are the products formed? So see students, here zinc, where is the zinc here? So this is the zinc. And where is the copper sulfate? Copper is here. So zinc is the left side, copper is right side. So this is more reactive than this one. So zinc displaces the copper, Clear? So what we get the product or zinc sulfate, ZnSO4 plus copper. Now copper sulfate and iron nail. Where is iron? Here iron and here copper. So iron is left side, means more reactive. So iron displaces the copper. So what we get here? Iron sulfate plus copper. Now zinc sulfate and copper. Where is the zinc? Zinc is here, zinc sulfate and copper. Okay, copper is here. So copper is right side, it is less reactive. So this cannot displace the zinc. So here no reaction takes place. Clear to you? Now iron and copper. Where is iron? Iron sulfate and copper. So copper here, iron is here. So this is right side. So it cannot react. So no reaction takes place. Now zinc and iron, you see, zinc and in the zinc sulfate, iron. So again iron is less reactive than the zinc. So here also no reaction takes place. So students, did you understand? This is a very important. Okay. So whether which type of displacement reactions how can take place, you have to remember. So this order, students. Okay. So with this we stop today, and tomorrow we start with the new property. Right. Bye.